There are also platforms that are every day calling for certain types of stories from Ghana, from Africa, who are international platforms. A platform can pay you. I have a platform that pays me £200 to write one story. I can send 20 pitches. They'll pick one. If they pick one and I write the story, that is £200.
Welcome to the Young Achiever Show with Michaela Ade. We have another amazing young achiever here with us. This young achiever, he is a journalist, the CEO of EKM Communications Consulting, and a renowned public speaking coach. He's none other than Mr. Theodore Korku Mawutor Abiwu, or should I call him Coach EKM?
Coach EKM is easier.
Or Efo Korku Mawutor for short.
That's even better. I like Efo Korku Mawutor. I rarely get called Mr.
Then I maintain that.
Thank you.
Efo,
Yeah.
what inspired you to veer into journalism?
Journalism. That's an interesting question because it brings back an interesting story. In class 4, as a young, I don't know how many years old I was then. I think I was about 15 or 17. I was very old when I started school. But around that time, I started thinking about what I wanted to do with my life. I think it was church. We read about Jesus saying something about I was sent to the poor and something to give them comfort or something like that. So I took that as Jesus's statement for what he was coming to do. So I needed my own statement. So I started thinking about it. First, I thought of becoming a doctor because generally I wanted to help people. So I said I wanted to become a doctor. Then I said, I don't like maths, so Dr. Diembaso. Then I said I'll become a policeman so that I can help with solving corruption. Then I said, nah, policeman, if I don't die early, I'll kill somebody early. So I settled on journalism. I think my thought then was journalism was the platform that would help me to still address the issue of corruption, help people, and still stay authentic. And so I found a way to be a doctor and a policeman without actually wearing the coat or the uniform of a policeman. But generally, my mission in life is to solve corruption and help people. So that sort of informs everything else that I do.
How did that lead you to become a communications professional and at the same time the CEO of your own communications consultancy?
So even back then, I understood that journalism was not going to pay me. So I didn't want to do journalism for money. I wanted to do journalism so that I can contribute to society. So I knew when I got to JHS1, JHS2, I figured that I needed to find something to do to earn money so that I can comfortably do journalism without entering into all the issues that came with it. And mind you, I used to read a lot. I used to follow the likes of Komla Dumont, the late, and I admired him a lot. And I had listened to watched a few of his speeches, and I felt like, well, journalism meant that I'll probably be broke. But I can't also be a broke popular person, so I needed to find something to do. And that's how I thought about, okay, I would be an entrepreneur or I'll have a business. But I didn't know what kind of business to start or to do until I entered university in 2017. And then I realized that, well, if journalism school is not teaching me only to do journalism, it's also giving me a lot of information about communication. And so I felt, well, then I could be a communications consultant. So that's when I had the idea. Let me start a company that would help me earn money and then do journalism on the side to not earn. But not funny enough, it's the opposite. Journalism earns me more money than my company. And that is because in the end, what I'm doing with my company is rather helping to train people, for people to find themselves, to help them develop their skills and all of that, which I do for almost no cost.
Wow.
And rather, the kind of journalism I'm doing now is earning me money, and I still am able to stay without the issue of solly and corruption and all of those things.
You mentioned the issue of journalism curbing corruption. In our recent times, do you think journalism in Ghana is indeed curbing corruption?
I do not think so. In fact, it was just yesterday I chatted with somebody and I said media is our biggest problem in this country. And when we talk about Ghana's problems, we talk about the economy, we talk about inflation, we talk about politicians, we talk about corruption. But really, media Ghanaian media is Ghana's biggest problem. And it all boils down to the authority of the media to decide what to select and present to the audience. And these days, the media is so either partisan focused or profit focused. So it's a P word. We are either partisan or you are profit oriented. And both do not augur well for any society. For a society like Ghana that is trying to grow out of poverty, trying to achieve economic independence as much as we have the legal or human independence, our media needs to be more focused on development than profit and partisanship. But unfortunately, we are looking at the likes of America, we are looking at the likes of the Western countries, and we are allowing our media to be partisan and profit-oriented. And that is why we are in the kind of mess that we are in. Because, for instance, when the media reports on certain things, and I'm like, why are we reporting on this issue? Like, why is a big media house, like any of the big media houses you can think of, reporting this in their prime time news? If somebody is making noise, why report on it? There are real issues. Farmers who have produce which are rotting in the farms that we can't report on, or we focus our mics on. Akufo-Addo has said, Mahama, what is your response? And that is the reason why we're in this mess. So yes, I do not think that journalism or media is actually curbing corruption, unfortunately, which is why I chose to do international journalism than practice in country.
With that, a follow-up question is, you think that the NCA or maybe the Journalists Association is not playing its role for the media to stand up as a watchdog?
As for the National Communications Authority, there is very little they can do in terms of the content that the media puts out because they are in charge of frequencies.
Okay.
It is the National Media Commission that has any charge over what content the media puts out. Unfortunately, the National Media Commission is a toothless dog.
Wow, say that
Can
again.
bark
Seriously.
but cannot bite. Even the law that created the National Media Commission does not give the National Media Commission any audacity or authority to prosecute. So they can make noise. They can say don't show porn. But if you show it, the least they can do is caution you. They cannot do anything about it. The least they can do is tell NCA or sue you at the court for your license to be revoked. But they cannot really do much. Unlike the what do you call it? There is this, is it right to speech or something commission? I forget the name. There's the new commission for the journalist's right to speak, a right to information commission. The right to information commission has actual power to constitute itself into a court and prosecute anybody who is refusing to adhere to the statute in the right to information law. But the National Media Commission does not have that.
Wow.
So the National Media Commission is a toothless dog. And the GJ has been politicized and become partisan. So it is the government of the day that decides who becomes the president of the GJ. The current GJ administration has done some things. They've made some statements. They've stood their ground. And I am particularly proud of some of those things that they are able to do. But they too, I feel like their focus is more on events. And make no mistake, they organize beautiful events. The last two GJ awards have been beautifully organized with serious sponsorship, which is great. But event is not what makes journalism. Event is not what makes media. And awards is definitely not what is going to cure the canker in the media space and repair the rot in the Ghanaian society.
Okay, so the NMA and the GJ must indeed sit up.
Yes.
Coming to EKMCC. Hey, yes. Efo,
Yeah.
what inspired you to begin your own communications consultancy?
Actually, it didn't start as a communications consultancy. That is how
Really?
come I said I'm not making profit from it.
Wow.
Because the idea started with, like I said, remember that I said my simple mission in life is to help stop corruption and help people. So fight against corruption and help people. And so everything I do is in those brackets,
Okay.
right? I stepped into university in 2017. Ghana Institute of Journalism, then now University of Media, Arts and Communication. And I had been thinking all my life that primary school is Chilinsa, is course, right? JHS is maybe Division 1. If you go to the SHS, that is Premier League. So if you come to the university, that is Champions League.
Yes.
So I expected that when we came to the university, everybody would bring their A game. Only for me to come to the university and some of my colleagues in class cannot even answer a question in class.
Wow.
They have to send the question to me to ask for them. They have to, when they are asked to answer a question, they cower, they become timid, they are shaking. When presentations happen in class, and it's a whole ball game. People are fainting in class, people are running out of the class, and I was really abashed because I expected better from university students. So I decided that having dedicated my time, especially in JHS and SHS, to learning about public speaking, to learning about the industry of public speaking, as far back as SHS, I had decided that I was going to become a public speaker, but I was going to become a public speaker manager, which means I wanted to manage public speakers. I wanted to be something as a manager, like what a musician would have a manager, what an actor would have a manager, because I had read about it and seen it happen in the US and in the UK and other Western countries where speakers had managers and they were making a lot of money, and I felt public speaking could be an opportunity for employment for young people. So me, I wanted to do that as far back as SHS2.
Wow.
So when I came to the university and I found that the people that I thought were going to become my market that I was going to manage, they don't know how to speak, then I had to step back and now teach. So I started helping in class, helping friends, helping colleagues to, speak very well. And then through that, I decided to start a group training. So the group training is what then birthed the idea of EKM Communications Consulting. In fact, when we started as Efo Consulting. Then we came to EKM Consulting. And then when we went to register, we realized that EKM Consult existed. So they were not willing to give us EKM Consulting. So we made it EKM Communications Consulting. So that's how the whole thing started. The whole inspiration was, I can't look at my friends in class not be able to speak well. They're in the university for crying out loud. So what can I do to help? And that is what has birthed this organization, this company.
And seriously, this organization has really impacted lives. After all, I am a product.
You are a product, one of my proud productions, if I should say.
Look how fascinating it is. You are my coach, you were my coach, and you still are.
Yeah.
I was your mentee. Today, you are my guest, and I am your host.
And that makes me the proudest, because this right here is the evidence that I keep looking for. It's about, I have always dreamed of this, being on a program, either me hosting people that I look up to or people who have passed through my training hands hosting me. And so this right here is a dream come true. It's something I've been dreaming about.
This is a dream come true. Yeah. Today I am the woman of the show.
I know, right?
My guest.
Right. So it's beautiful to see.
Many communications consultancy are around, and for your own, were there any challenges, or are there still challenges you are facing? But the challenges, you are still able to do everything, even though there are challenges.
I think my biggest challenge is the fact that, first of all, people don't understand communications consulting in this country.
Okay.
So that's the baseline. Okay. Because the most number of communication consultants you will find are people who have worked on the media.
Very true.
And so they become consultants because they worked on the media. So when you approach people and you tell them about communications consulting, that you are a consultant, they look at you like, which media house have you worked for? And I haven't worked for any media house in Ghana. The first media house I've ever worked for is France 24.
Wow.
So because you can't identify with any media house in Ghana, then they think it reduces your credibility. But see, communications consulting is a whole industry. People study 4-year degree. People are having a doctorate in communications consulting, right? So the first layer of challenge for me is to be able to overcome that blockade where people see me and think I don't know what I am about just because I haven't worked on a certain media house, like the big media houses that they can identify with. So that is one. The other is that I started this when I was in level 200. Wow. So I was a student, and this was my personal incubation project while I was in the university, because remember, I wanted to be a journalist and I knew journalism would not pay me. So I wouldn't also come out of school and now be looking for a job. So I needed to find something to start doing in school. So it started with doing people's assignments and getting paid for it, consulting, helping people here and there, and then starting the whole project of doing group trainings and all of that has led to what we're doing today. So that the challenge for me is that because I started in school, I didn't have the money. I was looking for money to pay school fees. Talk less of having money to have the program. But I have always believed that the number one resource that anybody needs, any African young person needs to start their project is themselves. Because I asked myself, what is the raw material you need to do your project? Can you do it? Do you have it? Can you get it? That's it. If you can do it, great. If you have it, wonderful. If you can get it, the best. So I asked myself that question. What is the raw material that I need to train people? I need knowledge and I need ability to train. So what did I do? I went to get the ability to train. Though I've always been able to teach, I actually went to take courses in training, in managing people, in mentorship, in coaching. I have certificates from Yali Fellowship, certificates from other organizations that have trained me, or through which I have learned how to coach, how to mentor, and how to train.
Wow.
So I am a trained trainer or a trained coach or whatever you may want to
We're trainers,
call
trainer.
right? So that the moment I was able to gather for myself the ability to do the thing, then I'm cool. What is the information? The information is public speaking. Do I have it? Yes. Am I willing to learn it? The better. And I'm willing to learn. And since 2017, there is no day in my life, even when I was ill, that I would not sit down and either watch a public speaker, listen to somebody speak, or learn something about public speaking. Every day since 2017, I have done that, because the only way I can continue to be relevant and continue to give quality information and training to the people who come to me is if I know. So I continue training. And for me, that is the number one resource. Do you have it? Can you get it? Can you do it? If you have it, or you can get it, or you are willing to get it and learn how to do it, you are good to go. Money would come, to be honest. And we have not hit our profit margin yet as an organization.
Wow.
We don't have billions of dollars yet. We will get it. We don't have it yet. But I can tell you for a fact that having done this for 7 years, it doesn't take money to start any organization, at least in my experience.
Wow, that's really great. With regards to journalists not veering to do corrupt acts, and you mentioned that already you knew that journalism will not pay, and you're able to psych your mind and begin your own communications consultancy. What would you say are ways that other journalists maybe let me start over again. What would you say are ways that other journalists can find opportunities to gain maybe monetary value and not be corrupt?
Actually, there are a lot of ways.
Okay.
There are a lot of ways. You are a journalist.
Yeah.
It means that, first of all, English language, you are good with it.
Yeah.
Or you must be good with it.
Very true.
Okay. So if you are, then aside from journalism, you know what I do? I write books. I do editing for people. In fact, because of my training in GIJ, now I'm a researcher. I do research for people because I'm a journalist.
Wow.
And I have got the research training. I have got the language training, so I can write. I can proofread. I can edit. These are asides that you can do just because you are a reporter, you are a journalist. So that is one. You can offer such services. Now, aside from that, there are also platforms that are every day calling for certain types of stories from Ghana, from Africa, who are international platforms. A platform can pay you. I have a platform that pays me £200 to write one story. I can send 20 pitches. They'll pick one. If they pick one and I write the story, that is £200. If I can discipline myself and write one story every month, £200 is almost 9,000 cedis every month. Think about that.
Wow.
If I'm not lazy. So I can be a journalist at Joy. And Joy will be paying me, 1,500, 2,000 a month. It's okay for me. I don't have to go and collect solly. I don't have to wait for transportation when I go for assignment because I know I can get 9K. And people are doing it. I know people who are doing it. That is how come I can speak about it. And that is the kind of space that I have entered, that I'm preparing to, also, I'm learning to be able to take advantage of that space. I've even taken advantage of look, there is a community of Bahamians who come to Ghana almost twice every year. Whenever they come to Ghana, I write their stories.
Wow.
When I write their stories, I will not get less than $50 per story. If I write 5 stories before they leave, imagine that. That
That's
is
a lot.
$250. So yes, there are other ways of earning. If you are lucky and you are an on-air person, you have twice the opportunities. Why? Because you can be an MC. You can train yourself to not only be a host who looks into the camera and speaks to the camera, or look at the microphone and speak to the microphone. You can also hone extra skills that makes you panel moderator and MC, and you can do more. You understand?
I understand.
Bernard Avle earns so much more from speaking or moderating events than he earns from City. That's on fact. Right? And if people like the likes of Kafui Day and Jerry Ajololo can quit jobs, day jobs that pay them a lot of money to go and be MCs, then how much more you who already have the ability to sit in front of people and talk to people? So there are so many opportunities in the space. And you know the funny thing, if you do well, if you do a lot of these NGOs and international agencies would want to work with you because they want to work with you as a consultant. So those are some of the ways that I believe journalists can make extra money.
So tell us about your baby, Kasanufo public speaking training and contest.
My
What are we
baby.
to expect different from last year, my year? Yeah.
Right. So Kasanufo is a short form. It's 2 words combined. It's Kasa in Chi and Nufo in Ewe. The whole project is a public speaking training and contest.
Okay.
For 8 to 9 weeks, we train participants, young Africans mostly, but these days we've had a lot of adults also join us. We've had chartered accountants, we've had maritime experts, we've had so many counselors, so many professionals also join the training. But what does the training do? The training exposes the participant to 3 things: the skills, the techniques, and the attitudes that are needed for exquisite, excellent public speaking. The whole agenda is to train young people to be able to have the voice to say what they want to say without offending anyone or without feeling timid. That is the entire goal. We've been doing this for 7 years, and this year being our 7th year, of course, every year we try to do something that is new. So this year we've had actually 9 weeks of training instead of 8 weeks. Okay. So that is one. Secondly, this year for the contest, instead of doing just the grand finale, we are having a semi-finals before the grand finale. So there'll be a semi-final where we'll cut down the number, and then at the grand finale, we'll do the grand contest itself. And of course, if people want to find tickets, people want to attend the event, they can simply call Mause on 055-065-9417 or get onto any of our social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Twitter, we are not too active. We only observe. But
Please come on
LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram, you can find us there. You can send us a DM on those platforms. We'll quickly respond to you. Or you can send us an email at theekmconsulting.com, THE, then ekmconsulting@gmail.com, and we'll respond to you. Or if you know any of the contestants or participants, just get in touch with them. You can get a ticket from them and you can attend the event and see. When you come to the event, what would you see? You will see young people who have gone through training and who will exhibit for you the most sterling performances of public speaking you've ever seen on the continent of Africa. This program is a novelty on the continent of Africa.
Wow.
Nobody does it like we do. We're teaching emotional intelligence in public speaking. We're teaching MC in panel moderation. We're teaching how to host event online or offline. We're teaching you all manner of things. We're teaching you negotiations, sales, pitching. We're teaching you how to write a speech structure, and everything involved. So there's so much involved in the little that people pay, and what they pay is only able to run the program, and it's not about profit for us, but it was about running the program. And in line with that, if anybody also would want to sponsor us, we're really, really willing to accept and available to, partner with organizations that want to sponsor us, either with products or money or opportunities for the young people that participate in our program. We are always willing. That's why we are always happy and grateful to Ghana News Guide for continuously supporting the program, giving our young people who pass through the program opportunities like you, who's now moved from intern to become a show host. And we are really excited about this, and we are really grateful to Ghana News Guide.
Any last words to a potential young achiever somewhere who think it's impossible, but your story may serve as an encouragement? Any words of encouragement to them?
One of the popular ways that I've seen people talk about encouraging people or talk about impossibilities is when they say the word impossible itself is I am possible or am possible. So to spell impossible, there is I and am. If you put that aside and you move it aside, the rest is possible.
No.
So I am possible. So I don't believe in impossibilities. I'll say three things for young achievers or young people. First of all, believe that you are good enough. Secondly, be willing to learn to be better than the good enough. And thirdly, have the interest in helping other people. I believe these three things, if done and done well, may be able to help somebody. It's helped me. I hope it helps other people.
Have an interest in helping other people.
Yes.
This is for me. Efo, thanks for your presence on the Young Achiever Show.
Thank you so much for hosting me.
Thank you for training me. Hey, I'm doing this
Thank you for
because
passing
of you.
through
Oh, thank
and for
you,
learning
thank
the things that we taught.
Thank you. Viewers, as you heard from Efo, tickets will be reserved for you. You can reach the number and details will be dropped for you to reach out and get your tickets. It has been me, Michaela there. This is Young Achiever Show. See you on the next one.